ideologies about masculinity to a vulnerable, naive, and young audience, convincing them that if they believe and act like him, then they too can become rich and successful men. This whole part of the sexual identity and experience is buried because it didn't serve that goal. And this isn't new. Ayn Rand, Sneeko, half the pastors that you see on the pulpit preaching against homosexuality that get caught with gay sex workers. The contradiction of conservatives around sex is as old as sex itself. Who do you think is spending all this money on OnlyFans girls, or Black.com memberships, or sessions with dominatrixes? Fresh and Fit spend half of their podcasts talking about don't simp, but literally pay for most of the girls there to appear on their podcasts.
In like the mid-2000s, the mid-90s, you would hear all these like scandals in the papers about conservative MPs who were sleeping with rent boys. Rent boys, I don't know if you have that terminology over there. Male sex. Yeah, and you would hear this all the time. It would be like conservative MP caught with rent boy in high-profile London bar or something. Like it was this like horrific thing that was happening. But generally speaking, it wasn't the rent boys that were going to the papers and talking about it. But what I imagine the conservative mindset in like wanting to explore kink and wanting to understand why they have these urges in order to like experience what it's like, almost like LARP as a peasant, right? You know what I mean? It's like, I've been the king, I've been the lord for so long, I want to LARP as a peasant. It's like there's a Simpsons episode, where Mr. Burns sells the power plant and he's like, oh, Smithers, let's go and look at these locals in the bar, and then he like gets shat on because he's got no money anymore, doesn't have any power anymore, so he's like, oh my god, they don't fear me anymore, and he's like, what the fuck? So it's like they kind of have like this, desire to want to see what it's like to be a commoner, see what it's like in that regard. It serves them super well because they can step into this room and then step immediately out of it again, and everything's fine. They don't have to think about that room, they don't have to remember the room, it's one of them, and like the consequences for the other people in the room, all secured in a fucking contract, NDA, whatever, you know what I mean? They don't even have to do aftercare, which is like a really important thing.
Go to detail, but one of these girls was hired to stay at like a rich man's house, and he made her stay there for a few days, and he literally did like unspeakable things to her, and then just paid her and sent her on her way because he was rich and like had this power and like you don't really do anything or say anything because you're scared of what can happen.
I'm mentally getting fucking distracted by the dumbass shit they're saying. Okay, so let's start from the top again. Both the conversation and the run. All right, let's start from rent boys.
But people want to burn. Sells the power plant, and he's like, oh, Smithers, let's go and look at these locals in the bar, and then he like gets shat on because he's got no money anymore, doesn't have any power anymore, so he's like, oh my god, they don't fear me anymore, and he's like, what the fuck? So it's like they kind of have like this, desire to want to see what it's like to be a commoner, see what it's like in that regard. It serves them super well because
a conservative MP hires a gigolo. Therefore, he wants to see what it's like to be a commoner, because every commoner is able to buy a prostitute at their own leisure.
They can step into this room and then step immediately out of it again, and everything's fine. They don't have to think about that room, they don't have to remember the room, it's one of them, and like the consequences for the other people in the room, all secured in a fucking contract, NDA, whatever, do you know what I mean? Like they don't even have to do aftercare, which is like a really important thing.
Because Lord knows, the thing that a prostitute wants to do after they're done having sex and they're cleaning themselves off and out is just, just giving attention to that power rod. That's just, they just, slap blowjobs, Just cold bennies, old-fashioned sloppies. They just don't know the power of the sloppy jalopy. They just don't care about the aftercare. Just nut and go, just like Nutella. And then this shit.
Go too into detail, but one of these girls was hired to stay at like a rich man's house, and he made her stay there for a few days, and he literally did like unspeakable things to her, and then just paid her and sent her on her way because he was rich and like had this power and like you don't really do anything or say anything because you're scared of what can happen.
So if it's unspeakable, I'm supposed to take from that, oh, he did horrible things to her body. He did horrible things to... Did she agree to it? I have to assume the answer is yes, because if she wasn't being held under duress and she could leave at any time, that she stayed and got paid. Now, I can't imagine if it's something really weird, like the story of Lav talking about a guy having her eat his ass out. Why is that such a hard sentence for me to say? I can't imagine that it's one of those situations like, yeah, that's what you like. Yeah. I can't imagine that's what Rimjob, bro. I'm sorry. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine it. All of you women are just the same. Now we're gonna turn the lights on for this. All of you women are the same. All of you. I need something whole. I need it fluffed from my butt. All of you women are the same. Each and every one of you. You all want the same thing. Yeah. You're just dirty. All you want is my money. You can leave at any time. All you want is money. I'll take your $5,000 to get out. There's no fucking way, bro. There's no fucking way. I can't. statement. Okay? If they are forcing you to do these rim jobs, if they are forcing you to do these sexual activities, tell somebody. We will arrest them on the spot. We will literally be on your side. But you are lying! And I know you're lying! No one is forcing you to do these things! No one is forcing you to do it! Society is forcing you to do it. Society is forcing you to do the rim job. No! No! You can say no! You can leave! There is such a thing as too big an ask, okay? There's also such a thing as too big an ass. But there's something such as too big an ask, okay? There is such a thing as something being too big an ask. Oh, it hurts. Brain dead shit hurts me. Okay? Brain dead shit hurts me. Nothing hurts me more than somebody lying like that. It is so mentally distracting.
That's basically what he was trying to do. But it wasn't just because of, capitalism and patriarchy and all that. There's also a deep sense of impotence. When you're confronted with cultures, and you talked about this in the video before, when you're confronted with African cultures and indigenous cultures who have for generations, and Asian African cultures who have for generations had a deep...
I forgot to turn the light off. Fucking Christ! Nigga, what the fuck? What in the actual fuck is wrong with you? Also, somebody needs to clip that. I will clip that. 320.
divine understanding of sexuality and gender, and who have been sexually expressive. They're like, I gotta create stereotypes to dehumanize them. And if you create a stereotype to dehumanize someone, so you say they're hypersexual, lascivious, all of these things, then you have to be the opposite. You have to go as far away from that as possible to be the human ideal. Even when you don't want to go away from it. So I wouldn't even say that most people already know this, because you see what comes out in the, all the things done in the dark that come out to the light. We see that people are still out there having sex, experiencing kink, enjoying like all types of BDSM, all the goodies that are in the sexual spectrum. The same conservatives enjoying sex with people of the same gender. Like all of these things are happening still very much, but under non-disclosure agreements.
As alluded to earlier, conservatives report a lot of sexual satisfaction, and some of that is probably that Dunning-Kruger effect I was talking about earlier. But I imagine that for a few, especially the most elite, they're having adventurous and stimulating sex lives full of departures from social norms. The whole time, they're preaching sanctity of family and traditional values. It's an open secret that they're having full-on eyes wide shut parties under NDAs in the privacy of their own mansions. We hate at the kind of gross sexual practices of Game of Thrones, but we forget that this show is loosely based off real-life British aristocracy, and that the late Queen Elizabeth's husband was her not that distant cousin, because they shared great-grandparents who were also first cousins. What conservatives understand is that sex can be a key element of the human condition.